The August sun in Austin scorched the lawn in front of Ethan Carter's porch, but the heat was nothing compared to the fury blazing in his chest. The HOA letter lay sprawled on the dining table, the bolded fee increase notice, glaring like a bloodstain on pristine paper. $3,020 a month. Ethan squinted at the number, his grip on the black coffee mug turning his knuckles bone white. "Are you people insane?" His voice echoed through the empty kitchen. 6 months ago, this 3-bedroom cedar house in Cedar Ridge Villas had been a godsend bargain after his divorce's dark spiral. The toxic New York work culture, the scandal of exposing his former boss's bank fraud, the shattered marriage. It had all driven Ethan to Texas like a moth to flame, desperate to restart his life. Diane Harper, the HOA's charismatic president in her pastel pink pantsuit, had greeted him with a Cheshire grin. "Welcome to paradise, Mr. Carter. Here, everything is perfect." Now that paradise was strangling him with an HOA noose. Ethan kicked a wooden chair aside and snatched his phone. 3 rings later, Diane's shrill voice pierced the silence. "I warned you, Ethan. The lead pipes are toxic. Pay up or lose the house. It's simple. Simple my ass." Ethan slammed his fist against the wall. The faint smell of fresh paint lingered, a bitter reminder of his move-in day. The house felt unnervingly quiet, save for the creaking ceiling fan. "I'll sue you," he barked into the phone. Diane scoffed. "Our lawyers are already at the Travis County Courthouse. Who do you think you are? Some tech-addicted nobody glued to his screens?" Her tone sharpened. "Don't forget, we know about your past in New York." Ethan paled. A decade ago, as a bank investigator, he'd uncovered a $50 million money laundering scheme. Yet only a low-level employee went to jail, while the mastermind, the bank's CEO, still lounged in his Hamptons mansion. His ex-wife's disappointed voice haunted him. "You always played the hero, Ethan, but this world rewards silence." The doorbell rang abruptly. Ethan flinched, his sweat-slicked hand sliding along the wall. Through the peephole's foggy glass, a hulking security guard loomed. "Package for you." The man's voice rasped with cigarette grit. When Ethan opened the door, a gasoline-tinged wind slapped his face. The guard shoved a moldy cardboard box into his hands, squinting at the crooked "Welcome to Cedar Ridge" plaque. "Name's Carl. Need help?" He paused, tapping a jagged scar on his cheek. "Find me." The box was empty. Ethan frowned, then spotted a crumpled note at the bottom, scrawled in haste. "They killed the Thompsons for asking about the park funds. Don't trust Diane." Ethan's mouth went dry. The house plunged into darkness as storm clouds swallowed the sky. He fumbled for a flashlight in the basement, its jaundiced beam revealing a crack in the ceiling. The one Diane had promised to fix once fees are paid. A rustling noise from the attic froze his blood. "Just rats," he muttered, but gripped a garden shovel anyway. Mildew choked the air as the attic door creaked open. Beneath dust blankets, a file labeled Cedar Ridge HOA Meeting Minutes March 15th, 23, confidential lay splayed. Ethan knelt, flashlight clenched between his teeth. Words danced in the flickering light. Proposal to cancel park project due to unidentified remains discovery. Evidence disposal fee for sheriff, $250,000. A thunderous crash shattered the silence. Ethan killed the light and ducked. Through curtain slits, he spotted a mud-caked SUV parked 3 houses down. A hooded figure leaped out, something metallic glinting in their hand. "Not now," Ethan whispered, shaky fingers launching his phone's voice recorder. Diane's threat replayed in his mind. "We know your past." Suddenly, he grinned, the grin of a man holding an ace. His fingers flew across the laptop keyboard, summoning a black screen with blinking text. "Welcome back, Investigator 486. As the SUV sped away, Ethan Carter, former child prodigy hacker of the European Central Bank, breached Cedar Ridge HOA's internal server. His final text to Diane before hiding in the basement shadows. "Remember, I once made Wall Street tremble." The digital clock glowed 3:14 a.m. Ethan cracked his stiff neck, squinting through smudged contacts at his monitor. The office window was sealed, curtains drawn, yet he felt the darkness stalking every keystroke. Lakeside renovations, he muttered, staring at the $500,000 park maintenance invoice for a derelict site. A click triggered a blue error screen. Access denied. Contact administrator. Damn it! He punched the desk, pain jolting him awake. In the corner, a vintage New York hacking kit spilled open, reeking of machine oil. He grabbed a skull logo USB, his trophy from hacking Swiss banks at 22. The screen died. Darkness swallowed the room, broken only by Ethan's ragged breaths. Distant dogs howled. He yanked a pistol from the drawer, his lone relic from the divorce, then sighed. Just a blackout. By phone light, he groped toward the basement. Dampness clung to his lungs as he opened the circuit breaker. His flashlight beam found a severed copper wire behind a yellowed sign. Cedar Ridge wiring diagram. Do not modify. The roar of an engine outside froze Ethan's thoughts. He bolted to the second-floor bathroom, crouching behind the curtains to peer down. A black, unmarked truck was parked crookedly on the street. 3 figures in reflective vests jumping out. One of them carried a long, cylindrical device. Damn it! They're going to burn the house down. Ethan choked out, his hands trembling as he dialed Carl's emergency number. The mysterious security guard. 2 rings. Pick up, pick up. Carter. Carl's voice rasped. Open the garage. I've got what you need. Ethan scrambled downstairs like a hunted rabbit. The garage door screeched open, its metal grinding against the night. Carl, his face smeared with fresh blood, stood in the glare of motorcycle headlights. He tossed Ethan a dusty hard drive. The real HOA records. Thompson gave them to me before. He glanced at the smoking truck. Run! They've got guns. Ethan clutched the hard drive and sprinted back upstairs. A hail of bullets shattered the living room window. He dove under the table, shoving the hard drive into his chest pocket. Heavy footsteps pounded the porch. Diane Harper stood silhouetted in the headlights, her face steel-cold. Hand over the drive, you bastard! Ethan grabbed a whiskey bottle from the shelf, smashing it against the wall to create a jagged shard. Come and get it, he growled, yanking the network cable from the router. His phone lit up. The security app showed Carl wrestling with 2 thugs. An idea flashed in his mind. Ethan pulled a portable Wi-Fi hotspot from his pocket, connecting it to Thompson's hard drive. Data streamed across the screen like a death sentence. A June 15, 2023, $250,000 transferred to an account under Angel Park LLC real account. Diane Harper came in bank. August 29, 2023, $80,000 payment for chemical sanitation services. Recipient: The Mirage Casino, Las Vegas. An audio file. Diane's voice. Thompson kept demanding audits. Handle him like old Miller last year. The door shuddered under violent kicks. Ethan jammed in his earbuds. Diane's voice in the recording turned his blood to ice. Douse the Thompsons' house in gasoline. Make sure everything burns before the cops arrive. And don't forget to leave the antidepressants. Monsters! Ethan screamed. He slammed the send all data button. The screen flashed red. Connection failed. Diane had killed the router. Shadows flooded the house. Ethan crouched behind the sofa, clutching the glass shard. The stench of gasoline filled his nostrils. A spark flared in the kitchen window. Boom! The garage door exploded. Carl burst in, shotgun blazing. Get to my bike! He yelled, firing through the flames. Ethan rolled through the fire spreading across the carpet, his jacket singeing. His hand closed around the USB plugged into the hard drive, the only evidence left. Carl's motorcycle roared through the black smoke. Behind them, house number 42 Cedar Ridge Villas was swallowed by an inferno, every piece of evidence consumed. In Ethan's pocket, the USB blinked. 87% data uploaded. The first acid rain of winter fell over Austin as Ethan stepped into the HOA building, his sleek black briefcase heavy with a fake hard drive and a concealed pistol. The scent of Diane Harper's Chanel number 5 hit him before the click of her stilettos echoed down the hall. "Welcome, IRS Auditor." She purred like a cat toying with a mouse, her diamond ring cutting into his hand as she shook it. Ethan faked a cough, pulling his medical mask higher. "COVID," he rasped, his voice disguised by a modulator. "Shall we begin?" The lavish meeting room glowed under dim golden lights. 10 pairs of suspicious eyes from the HOA board locked onto him. Ethan opened his laptop, fingers brushing the burn marks still raw from the fire. The fake IRS logo blinked on the screen. According to the records, he cleared his throat. Cedar Ridge Villas paid $1.2 million to lakeside renovations, yet no building permits were issued. Diane snapped her fingers. "Show the records," she barked. A hulking bodyguard stepped forward, but Ethan hit a button. The projector displayed a scanned contract with Diane's signature. Payment of $800,000 for medical waste disposal at the Mirage Casino. Whispers erupted. Diane shot to her feet, her red nails clawing the wooden table. "Lies," she snarled. Ethan smirked, playing the audio file from Thompson's USB. Diane's icy voice filled the room. "Douse the Thompsons' house. Make sure everything burns before the cops arrive. And don't forget the antidepressants." The room fell silent. A young woman with blue hair stood up at the back. "That's my mother." Diane forced her to overdose after she spoke out. Bang! The back door slammed open. 3 tattooed thugs stormed in, pistols drawn. Diane sneered. "Game over, Ethan Carter." He ripped off his mask. "Wrong." His voice boomed as every phone in the room rang simultaneously. "This is just the beginning." On every screen, a YouTube livestream titled HOA Mafia Exposed showed the meeting in real time. Viewers skyrocketed from 0 to 10,000 in seconds. Diane screamed, "Kill him!" Ethan dove under the table as bullets tore through the air. He yanked off his fake necklace, a hidden camera, and tossed it into a plant pot. "Carl, where are you?" he shouted into the hidden mic. Crash. The window shattered. Carl burst in like a tornado, his shotgun blazing. "Save the kids!" he yelled, pointing to the playground outside. "They dumped nuclear waste there." Diane pulled a tiny derringer from her bra. Ethan lunged at her, tackling her to the tiled floor. A bullet tore through his shoulder, blood splattering the projector screen, showing Cedar Ridge children screaming with rashes. The live stream still running. "Diane?" Ethan spat blood, his hand tightening around her throat. "All of America's seeing your true face." From the corner, the blue-haired woman held up her phone. "I have proof Diane bribed the mayor." A blurry video played. Diane handing a bag of cash to a suited official in a dark car. Diane thrashed like a wild animal, breaking free from Ethan's grip. "You have no idea who you're messing with," she gasped, her pink suit stained red. "They'll tear you to pieces." The alarm blared. Police cars swarmed the gates. Diane leaped through the window, her clothes torn to shreds, disappearing into the rain-soaked woods. Ethan collapsed to the floor, slamming the send all button on his laptop. A green message flashed. Data delivered to FBI, CNN, and WikiLeaks. Amid the tear gas haze, the blue-haired girl's voice echoed faintly, "Thank you," before fading. Ethan reached out, but his hand only touched the pool of blood spreading beneath her. Carl yanked him up. "We gotta move. They've got drones tracking us." The 2 men bolted outside, the pouring rain washing away the dried blood. Ethan glanced up at the HOA building, now engulfed in flashing police lights. On the roof, Diane stood motionless, a remote control raised in her hand. Boom! The third-floor windows exploded. Shards of glass flew like razors. Carl shoved Ethan into a drainage ditch, his body drenched in blood. "The number in my pocket," he gasped. "Call it when you get to Nevada." The USB in Ethan's pocket lit up. A message from an unknown number appeared. Evidence received. Running facial recognition on casino footage. 95% match. Diane Harper equals wife of Carter Hall mafia boss. The Greyhound bus screeched to a halt at the Nevada station, its engine hissing like a venomous snake. Ethan stepped off, his face hidden behind a surgical mask, the stench of antiseptic from his shoulder wound sharp in the air. A blood-splattered newspaper on a bench screamed the headline, HOA president arrested, linked to drugs and mass murder. He smirked. Diane Harper was now inmate number 48576. But the USB in his pocket still burned like a hot coal. Ring. His phone vibrated. An unknown number. Ethan answered silently. Black car outside the pawn shop. Get in. A man's voice, gravelly and cold. A 1970 Lincoln Continental, armored and sleek, idled under the yellow streetlight. Ethan gripped Carl's blood-stained Glock 19 and stepped inside. The scent of musk and cigar smoke hit him. Hello, Carter. A man in a white suit sat in the shadows, twirling a diamond the size of a thumbnail. I'm Carter Hall. Diane is my ex-wife. Ethan's breath caught. The most notorious drug lord in the Southwest was sitting 2 feet away. Why not just kill me now? He growled. Hall chuckled, pouring whiskey into a crystal glass. You destroyed my most valuable puppet. Now you owe me, or work for me. Use that hacker brain to launder $500 million a month. Ethan shot to his feet. Go to hell. His gun aimed at Hall's forehead. But before he could pull the trigger, the car's floor gave way. Ethan plummeted into a pitch-black pit, landing in damp sand. Slam! The trapdoor shut. Hall's voice boomed from a speaker. 48 hours to choose. Starve or cooperate. In the darkness, Ethan's phone lit up. A text from Carl's dead number. Code 486B52. He gasped. It was their emergency code, referring to an underground weapons cache beneath the old Las Vegas train station. 2 hours later, Ethan used a key hidden in his shoe to unlock the bunker. A countdown timer flashed. 45 hours. He stood before an arsenal. C4, suicide drones, grenade launchers, and a black USB labeled Hall's Empire. Beep. His laptop powered on. A video call from Hall appeared. My toys. You've got 30 seconds to. Ethan hit the drone activation button. No. You've got 10 seconds before I erase you. He launched the drone. The screen split. One side showed Hall in his mansion. The other a drone carrying 2 kilograms of C4 hurtling toward the GPS coordinates. 5, 4, 3. Hall jumped to his feet, pale. Stop. I have your daughter. Ethan froze. On the screen, a blonde 5-year-old, his daughter with his ex-wife, was crying in a glass room. She died in the house fire 3 years ago. His voice broke. 2, 1. Hall screamed. She survived. You'd kill your own child. Ethan's finger trembled over the detonator. Sweat stung his wounded shoulder. He closed his eyes, seeing Carl's face as he fell, saving him. Boom! The bunker door blew open. Ethan stumbled out, his back scorched. The entire Las Vegas Strip shook from the explosion at Hall's mansion. As he ran, his phone buzzed with a final message. Cedar Ridge, 3 a.m. Bring the USB. He turned to see the mushroom cloud of smoke. Somewhere in the flames, a child's scream rose, then silenced. Ethan vomited, bile and blood mixing on the ground. 2 days later, Ethan stood silently before the ruins of Cedar Ridge Villas. The USB plugged into a broadcast device. All HOA and Hall data sent to 18 major news outlets. Click. A gun cocked behind him. Ethan turned to face the darkness, where Diane Harper stood, her hair patchy, trembling hands gripping a magnum. You took everything from me, she hissed, eyes bloodshot. Now I take your life. Ethan smiled. He raised his phone, live streaming. The whole world's watching, Diane. Shoot me.